All right. Good evening and welcome to the Tuesday, October 7th meeting of the Los Angeles Groves Town Council. We have a roll call, please.
Yes, sir. Mayor Browning.
Here.
Vice Mayor Darrell.
Here.
Councilman Goldenang.
Here.
Councilman Liang.
Here.
Councilman Rocket.
Here.
If you would stand for the pledge, remain standing for the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Heavenly Father, again, we thank you for protection from the hurricanes. We pray for those that are serving our country over in the Middle East and that area, keep them safe. And we pray for a good meeting tonight, and we pray this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Any changes to the agenda? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make
Brian makes a motion. Second.
Second.
Second by Ron. Further discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes 5-0. Moving to the consent agenda. Motion to accept the consent agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Ryan makes a motion to accept the consent agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ron. Further discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed, same sign. Passes 5-0. Moving to public comments, I've got Keith Harris and Marsh Herzog.
Keith Harris, 2580 C Road. It was intended by the town charter and the incorporation of Waxahachie Groves area that town government would serve, preserve, and protect the equestrian industries within the boundaries of the town. Some 5,000 horses will be migrating to Loxington for the Winter Equestrian Festival and the Winter Polo season. Many of these horses will board in the groves as retrieved from the grind of the competition arenas and the polo fields. They will enjoy the serenity of the groves and benefit from our trails. They will provide income for over 50 town commercial equine boarding and training operations, farriers, vets, the Red Barn, British Feed, and their employees. Contrary to council belief, we, the commercial equine businesses of the groves, pay taxes. Yesterday, the Water District started canal maintenance on the E Road. I have some pictures I'd like to give to town council.
Motion to receive and file.
Second?
Second.
Second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, received and filed. Opposed, same sign.
The equestrian trail is blocked by mud. No notice has been posted on both the town or the district websites. In district written correspondence, the district has classified the materials as deleterious or harmful in an unexpected way. The district is concerned that the materials may not be allowed to be transported outside of district boundaries. And what's more disturbing, the district's going to require recipients of the harmful materials to sign a waiver against any damages caused by these materials. Pesticide and herbicide contamination is a concern. The equestrian community requests town council to stop the canal work until the end of equine season, being April 1st. I wish to use my 5.75 votes plus my proxies to say stop the work until such time the material is tested and DEP procedures are followed. Word on the street is the district is refusing to deal with drainage issues on 160th and other roads, claiming it's the town's problem. There is definitely a town problem. Drainage issues being refused by the district, horse trails being blocked, and we're being exposed to harmful materials by the district's own admission. Mr. Mayor, these town problems originate from a select group of town citizens operating a political machine guised as another government operating with our town limits. The supervisors are on the board or majority have been on there 8 to 15 years apiece, and they are causing a problem. Vice Mayor Gerald wants the water district offices to be located in the new proposed town hall,
Let's wrap it up as quick as you can.
and you two will confirm that. I simply ask that the independent water district be made dependent upon the town of Waxahachie roads. Thank you.
March.
March Herzog, A-Road. On the news this evening, there were some towns in Palm Beach County that are putting in their codes and their rules and regulations, things to control the sale of marijuana if the amendment is passed. I would like to know if our council is going to address stopping the sale or shops being located in our town for the growing and distributing of the marijuana from within our town.
Okay, thank you, March. John Ryan?
John Ryan, 3508 Bay Road. For some time now, I think everybody in the town has understood that the district has been working with the USDA on a continuous program of restoring our canals to their original flow capacity for protection during the hurricane season. As far as I know, the vast majority of any material is being used to increase and to smooth out the trails for the canal maintenance roads alongside the canals. I'm not aware of any particular finding of pesticide or other contaminated material. Not to say that it couldn't be the case, but I think that the program of restoring the canals is basically to redistribute some of the eroded material back on the canal maintenance road.
Thank you, John.
Mr. Mayor, Paul Roden, subject.
Yes, Tom.
Part of the problem is that the material being deposited creates a lot of mud, and that pretty much stops riding, driving, any movement on these canals for a period of time. And I think that Keith's point is that at the beginning of equestrian season, that it's an issue. And while I understand the idea of ongoing maintenance, it's only something that's started recently. And it's at the same time that the district's looking to us to pay for the surveys for these areas as horse trails, yet at that same time the district's making it more difficult to be used as a horse trail. And the fact that, as they said, there's absolutely no warning, no announcement, no anything. They just start and do what they do. And then they leave it a mess. I know this because over on A Road, I have some cattle over there. I haven't been able to get there without putting the truck in four-wheel drive now for 2 months. And it wasn't like they just took the dirt and put it in a long spoil pile. They slotted it everywhere, so it made it literally impossible to travel in an area that was probably 20 feet away. And it seems passive aggressive to me on the part of the district. It's almost like a negotiating tactic. They'll deny it, they always do. But in the midst of whatever is going on here, that's what it is. You basically have an impassable trail now from one end of the road to the other. E Road, which is one of the designated horse trails by the district, is being buried under mud. So there really is no horse trail system. Yet they're negotiating with us. They want $20,000 to pay for the survey to do this, because despite the fact that they want this for their drainage easement, they don't want to pay down towards it. And they don't want to cost share with us on it. They just want us to pay for it. Say it's a horse trail, and then use it as a mud heap. And, where did the issue come from with the pesticides and all that? I'll tell you, it came from their own documents. Because they have a policy about the fill policy. And for whatever reason, they want to tell you that this fill isn't any good. So that when they give it away, it's like they didn't do anything. But this fill is either no good or it's perfectly fine. or it's somewhere in between. But nevertheless, it's good enough for the horse trail, but it's not good enough to sell it without telling somebody that this could have junk in it. So, they talk out of both sides of their mouth, and in the end, they just want the money. You know, I have to agree with Keith, you know, the dependent aspect is something that really needs to come up in conversation. It's something that we, I think, as a council need to make a statement on in a soon coming meeting and bring it up as an agenda item and go over it, because, you know, they look to us for money. And then at the same time, they do these things that literally, it does make it impossible. I mean, there's not a chance you could take your horse up there, because you can't take a four-wheel drive truck up. So how are they going to take a horse? I mean, maybe people have a mule and we're doing Grand Canyon type stuff, but that's not what it's about. We're supposed to have a trail. We're supposed to be doing something, you know, that's for the use of the people. And I think Keith also has a very good point that this is the coming business. This is the coming thing. These are the coming people. Everyone who's moving here is moving here for that. They're not moving here to do whatever there may have been in the past, the historical reasons for moving here. The people are moving here now for horses or because they're involved in the horse business or whatever, and then to just slap them in the face at every turn, you know, I think is really backhouse road on our part. And when it comes to district, I do believe that there's a great deal of passive-aggressive behavior in which they're just trying to make it impossible for the horses to do anything, and then say, oh, this is our maintenance. You know, they wasn't doing anything before.
Right. What we need to do is in a future meeting, get this on the agenda and set it up with input from the horse community too, as to, you know, maybe scheduling and help them understand why they can't do it certain times of year or others, although, you know, that will probably go round and round, but.
Well, you know, they did it all summer. Okay, so you can't say you can't do it in the rainy season, because they did it all summer. Well, now it's the equestrian season. Could they take a break? Go to something else. Do it somewhere else. Maybe South D Road, where there's huge sections that are just Brazilian pepper forests along the side of D Road. But here, where we have a perfect equestrian trail that's designated, doesn't seem to me to be the spot to commence this particular activity when there's plenty of other canals that could use it. So why don't they pick a different spot that isn't on a horse trail? Let's see.
Let's get it on the agenda. This is just public comment.
I know this is just a follow-up, because I think it's necessary. We have a time-limited grant sharing with the U.S. Department of Agriculture. I think it expires in November, and that's one of the reasons that we're continuing to do it now.
But I doubt they're going to get done with the whole grove because the clouds in November. So let's go ahead and make sure the horse trails are perfectly gets buried, is what they're saying. And, you know, I guess some folks do it, but I don't know for stuff.
Okay, Ron.
We've got an IGC committee that's been meeting now for months, and Keith, I'm pretty sure you attend some of those meetings. Now, I'm gonna have to get the minutes of those meetings and stuff, but I don't know that y'all been discussing this or complaining about it. If you haven't been, you should have been, because the IGC committee, I think, could have prevented this. The purpose of the two entities coming together is to try and prevent problems and solve problems. So I'll check the minutes out. But we had a situation on our canal easement where they came along, and I definitely do not agree with the procedure, okay? I personally think that the field should be given to the residents. I don't care who they are. I would like some myself, but I don't care who gets them.
Who wants
But
to offer the material?
Keith, please, come up and speak if you want, but no, I know that, but hey, you hear a bunch of negative things about the water control district, but you don't talk about the intergovernmental committee meeting trying to solve this problem before it got started.
If we could, we did talk about it at the Intergovernmental Committee meeting. It's been an ongoing thing as far as this fill policy. That's, as I said, where it came from, that this fill wasn't that good and that there was a problem. I personally discussed it with Steve Yogi the day before we were supposed to have the Intergovernmental Committee meeting, which we put off because Mark is no longer here and Mr. Underwood needed to come up to speed. But at that pre-meeting, we definitely discussed how this was a problem, and the very next day it was commenced on Ebro. So, at no time did he say to either myself or to Mr. Underwood, oh gee, we're starting tomorrow on the horse trail on Ebro, maybe I ought to think about what you're saying. No, not at all.
Okay.
And this has been in the lawyers' court for a month, waiting on them to back into over how much insurance we should provide to the district for us having a horse trail on their property and other similar mundane issues as that. That's what's going on, and the idea that nothing's going on is incorrect. And I think insulting to Mr. Yogi and to Mark, who worked very diligently on trying to proceed forward. And things are what they are, but they've been sitting in limbo for a month because of lawyers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keith?
And I do attend the IGC meetings, and who in the world would want harmful materials to put on their property?
Thank you, Keith. All right, moving on to item 4.
If I could run this. The thing is, you know, everybody wants to act like the water in the canal is deadly. You don't drink it, yes, but it doesn't. It's, you know, this was all done as we were just really freaking out over the subject of manure, and that was washing this terribleness into our canals. And we all just got out there that, you know, as if these canals are just septic, open septic tanks. Well, if they are, we need to close them up. But if they're not, if they're just canals, then we have to understand that what's in there is sediment from canals. There's some residue of whatever's in everybody's yard that's washing off in those canals. Anybody who doesn't understand that doesn't understand just the basic physics of what goes on in Florida, rain and drainage, and what's happening in our canals. This problem is that it is so wet and so muddy that when you use it as a surface, for months it can't be driven on, as Ron knows. And he agrees the procedure isn't the way it should have been. That's what I'm asking him. Just try to modify your procedure. Try to think about other users, because if the whole point of this horse trail is that it's 100% a spoil pile first and a horse trail whenever you can, you know, that doesn't work out. That would be like the port right now just burying Peanut Island completely under spoil because, oh, that's our spoil pile. No, it's a mixed use area, and we have to think about those mixed uses, and it's not 100% them and 100% us when it comes to paying, 100% them when it comes to deciding what's going on. That's part of the problem with the ILA, because the ILA, quite honestly, is insulting to the town. So we are going to look for some different terms from them, and that's what we're working with.
Okay.
Just so everybody understands what's going on here. But it's a problem. There's mud. If it continues, you know, you won't have a horse trail. On the only designated one they got left.
When I moved out here, it was the other way. They pulled it out of the canal, put it on the roads, and went up the road.
Well, that,
Same
you know, it's where it came from in the first place.
I know, I know. All right, moving on to presentations. We'll get those on the agenda. It's something we need to talk about. And so we have a honored guest, Quasimodo, with us. And so come on up. And I'm sure he's been bored. She's been bored before.
Oh, we had some pretty serious talking here already.
I know it. I know
Let's get that.
This is one of the fun things we can have. Quasi is an ambassador for our town. But first, I want to back up a little bit and talk about Quasi's mom and dad. Dr. Jenny works with the Animal Care and Control, Palm Beach County. And Mike is retired, and he is a celebrity in his own. He has restored a Vietnam-era helicopter and represents our town beautifully, and the vets of Vietnam as he travels around. If you go to the South Florida Fair, you go to the Wellington Parade, you see Mike and his crew with that helicopter on a trailer, and they are really an example of the unique people with great character that populate Waxahachie Grove. And Quasimodo is one of them. You know, we might not be the prettiest town in the island, but we've got character. I'll tell you. Mike, Jenny, tell us about your trip out to California.
Well, everybody noticed she was unique, all of our friends, and said, you should take her to the Ugly Dog Contest out in California. So years and years went by, and finally this year we had the time and said, okay, let's do the Ugly Dog Contest. So it was a big deal. We thought, oh my gosh, she's going to be all nervous and not travel well, because we had to get on the big plane to go out there. But we learned a lot. She gets in a plane just like a car, loves to go. She lays down, and from what I can tell, dogs' ears don't pop because everybody in the plane has ear problems, but the dog slept through the whole thing. So when we got there, everything was good. And she was a good ambassador for Loxahatchee because they have trouble pronouncing the name. Where are you from? Loxahatchee. So we would tell them it was Florida, and that's Indian for River of Turtles. Oh yeah, they'd get out their smartphones and look us up. So she was good for that. And then the other thing is while we were out there, it was in Petaluma, California. So we thought we'd sightsee while we were there. And some of the things close to California was Las Vegas. And what do people do in Las Vegas? They gamble and get married. So we got married while we were in Las Vegas. Besides being a good ambassador for the town of Loxahatchee, she was the reason we got married.
That's awesome. All righty. Well, that is great. All right, we've got a couple presentations here. Number one, I'm trying to think of what works with Loxahatchee Groves, and so what I did, everybody hears about the key to the city. Now, we don't have any gates that would have a key, but what we did is we handmade, it is made out of doggy biscuit, so Quasimodo will be able to leave the residue in our soil. Yeah, you're going to enjoy that. So a very unique key for a very unique dog, and I think she will like that. We've also got, here, if you would, open that, just pull one of the ends. And,
Watch it don't explode.
it doesn't.
Watch over his planes.
No big surprises. We have with turtles on it, for Loxahatchee Groves. So you really don't need a leash in Loxahatchee Groves, but when they go touring and when the ambassador is out moving around, she can do that and wear that. So it gives her a little bit of feminine color there with the turtle. Yeah. And then here we have a certification. So you would turn that around and
When you're done,
yeah. So anyway, we thank you for coming here and yeah, there you go.
Let's do a pose shot here for them.
Okay.
All right, let me get back. There we go. All right, well, good.
Now, I am used to being upstaged by an animal. When we were in Talkeetna, Alaska, I found out that the mayor of Talkeetna is a cat. And way more famous than I am. So I tried to get an appointment with the cat, but he was running around, so I could never get it. And this dog is more famous than any of us. So anyway, thank you all very much. All right. All right.
Wait, I don't think you call her Dr. Sarah. She wants you to take her picture.
All right, moving on to 4B. We have a letter that we're sending to the Seminole Ridge National Honor Society for their continuous road cleanup campaign. Mike, do you have that, or who's got that letter? Does Mark have it?
Sure, I think I have it right here. There it is.
Okay.
October 7th, 2014 letter to Andrea Casera Santamaria, the sponsor of the National Honor Society, Seminole Ridge Community High School. On behalf of the Loxahatchee Groves Town Council, we'd like to extend our greatest appreciation to the National Honor Society volunteers who have and will tirelessly devote their time picking up debris from Okeechobee Boulevard, the overflow, and along the letter roads in our community. We understand that volunteers are working in conjunction with the Loxahatchee Groves Landowners Association program to help keep Palm Beach County beautiful, as well as their need for community service hours that each student must accumulate. But this endeavor puts each of them above and beyond devotion to their community. Again, on behalf of the Town Council and also the residents of Loxahatchee Groves, please extend to each and every volunteer our understanding that keeping the roads clean is a daunting and endless task, and we extend our admiration and gratitude for a job well done. Warmest regards, Dave Browning, Mayor, Town of Loxahatchee Groves.
Okay, so that will be going to them, and again, thank you, Marge, for coordinating that with them. All right, moving to, we have no committee reports. Item 6, we have a resolution 2014-14.
Mr. Mayor, members of the Town Council, it's resolution number 2014-14, a resolution of the Town of Loxahatchee Groves, Florida, confirming the appointment of William F. Underwood II to serve as Town Manager pursuant to and coterminous with the professional services agreement between the town and Underwood Management Services Group, LLC, providing for severability, conflict, and providing for an effective date. The last meeting you did, pursuant to the contract, approve in advance a change in Town Manager, and this resolution will confirm that appointment from Mr. Underwood.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Second. Okay, we have a motion by Ryan, second by Tom. Discussion by council. I have nothing here from the public on this item. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes 5-0. We didn't need a roll call vote
You
on
want
here.
a roll call, Mike?
Well, it's all yay, you've already, it's 5-0, but we're supposed to do resolutions.
Okay.
Yeah, that-
We can still do it if you
Why
want.
don't we do it, just for the record?
Councilman Rocket,
Yes.
Councilman Liang,
Yes.
Mayor Browning,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Darrell,
Yes.
and Councilman Goldman.
Yes.
All right, moving on to, we have no ordinances, so number 8, administrative update.
I'm going to be very quick, Mayor, Council. Thank you very much for the vote of confidence. I've spent the last few days meeting with each of you and committee members, various committees, gleaning things that we need to move forward with. And I can tell you that there is a lot on your plate, but we look forward to moving all of them forward as quickly as possible. We will be bringing items back to you, a couple of items at the next meeting for your consideration that we hope. Other than that, my administrative update generally will be will be in writing to you in advance. So you'll have bullet points relative. I'm not going to go into a lot of flowery stuff. It's going to be a bullet. Boom, boom, boom. Do that in the future.
Thank you. And if you would, when the agenda comes out, I would love to see those bullets on there so the residents know what we're going to talk about. I think that would be good. Thank you, Bill. There is no old business. There is no new business. Closing comments. I have one comment by the public. Fred, come on up.
Thank you. Good evening, Council. My name is Fred Schreifer. I'm at 1473 Paradise Trail. I think it was October 3rd. I used the website to send out a letter. I don't know if you folks had a chance to look at it. So I just wanted to introduce myself, let you know kind of where we're at. There was some significant clearing on the property that just sold just west of us, and we continue to clear, and they cleared trees on our lot as well, plus my neighbor's lot. And so what I'm asking for is that the town get involved with what they're doing on their own lot. That's really what they have to deal with as far as permitting. I'm not sure where they're at with that, but when it started to encroach over to our property and is now starting to change the appearance of our neighborhood, we have about 34 residents kind of in that Paradise Trail, Flamingo, 22nd neighborhood. I just want the council's involvement with drainage in particular in that area, because we do have some of the roads are private, one of the roads is actually owned by the town. And it just seems like when stuff like this happens, it goes pretty fast and furious. It happens, on a late Saturday, all day Sunday, and before you can stop and find out what's going on, a lot of changes have already occurred.
Okay. What I've done is I've volunteered, I've been in contact with Fred, and I volunteered to sit down with the parties. I mean, I won't make any decisions regarding the town. I kind of sit down as a third party and help them, because we were over there looking at it, and they did, when they cleared it, they were oblivious to the property lines, and they cleared beyond the property lines. They started building a swale on Fred's property. You know, and they really came in. What I don't like is they come in and take down a lot of mature pines and everything. It really looked like a you know, a land clearing contractor was given, okay, you got X number of dollars to do it, and you really wanted to get it done fast. So we're going to try to get that hopefully resolved over there and do a good benefit.
I appreciate that opportunity too, but what'll happen when you try, it seems like we've had these, you know, fence line dialogues with the three parties involved, and you know, what happens is the good faith and all the trust just starts to dissolve, and so I'm hoping that the new property owner will actually agree to coming to this meeting, but if not, would like to get some assistance from the town council.
Okay, thank you, Fred. We might have to bring Quasimodo over tonight.
All right.
Jim?
Mr. Mayor, what are they going to, do you know what they're doing with that property? They just cleared
We don't know.
indication.
From what we understand, they've only come down and applied for a fence permit. It looks like they were clearing. Fred told me they'd come out for a couple weekends and began a fairly slow process of removing the Brazilian peppers and Melaleuca and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, you had a guy out there with big machinery, and he was just pushing up everything. So, you know, I understand they live in Wellington, and so my thought is probably a house, but we don't know. We don't know. So anyway.
We have certain land use
Yes.
relative to pine, et cetera.
Right.
So
We gave
have
them
a conversation with them.
We gave a cease and desist on the clear, and so whether it stopped them or not, we're going to sit down.
They may have to replace a lot of trees.
They will, because some of the trees they took down were on Fred's property. And so, you know, he lost some of the mature pines that this guy just went, you know what he did? He went right to where Fred and his neighbors had been mowing their yard, not realizing that the property line wasn't just what they mowed. It was the treed area and the stuff that was alongside. So hopefully we can get to that. All right, moving down to town attorney.
Well, just briefly, it was mentioned earlier about medical marijuana and the constitutional amendment. We are reviewing that for some of our other clients. And so if you'd like, and get with Bill, maybe we put it on for the next council meeting to see if you want us to review any issues related to that. It's kind of different for you all than a lot of other places because there may be an interest in the ag component of that industry. So rather than obviously one size fits all, it doesn't really fit. So I think if you want to have a conversation about it, we can put it on just for discussion.
That would be a good thing.
Well, there is a law in place now,
Okay.
but it's extremely limited. Ability, the Charlotte's Web, but right now they're going through rulemaking to allow 5 regional distribution organizations, one in each section of the state. And so there is right now a very limited amount. It's just that if it passes, the Constitution Amendment passes, it's going to be much broader medical use for it. But it's up to you all, and the timing is up to you.
We're going to do first in November.
Yeah, we have a lot going on at the next meeting.
Yeah, let's just wait. Let's see whether it passes.
Okay, that's fine.
You know, no need to spend money doing that when it might not be an issue.
We will follow up with you at a meeting after.
Okay. Anything else, Mike?
Go Gators.
Go Gators. All right, moves us to town council meeting. Tom, we'll start off.
Like I said enough this evening, why keep it going, because we're probably going to be at a record here, so.
I think so.
Just a couple. I want to compliment Mike and Jenny. For some of you that don't know them, and probably everybody here might know them, but they've got one of the prettiest places in Loxahatchee Groves. But they go back in time as far as fuel pumps and antique cars, and it's unbelievable. But if you ever had the opportunity to get with Mike and check that stuff out, it's beautiful. And he does a lot with interchange students that come from other countries and stuff. Every year he has a situation where he brings them out in his place. Certain people come and speak, but he puts a lot into the Vietnam vets. He's always taken this Vietnam chopper to anybody that wants it for different organizations that are trying to benefit their community or their kids. But he's been doing this for years and years, and I hope he always gets the recognition he deserves, and not only for what he does, but for being a Vietnam vet also. And Jenny's an outstanding vet. She does a lot up at the Red Barn, I think on a monthly basis, where she goes up there and gives shots and stuff at a fair price for animals and stuff. But these are two people that put a lot into their community when they have the opportunity. So I personally want to thank them and just let everybody know. And I thank all of you for coming.
Well, I think we're definitely at a record. I'm really happy about that. And I just want to thank everyone for coming tonight and fighting the state by the Gators.
I'd also like to thank everybody for coming tonight.
Okay. And I want to welcome Bill aboard. And,